All right, welcome back to Harvest Moon Farm, everyone. And I hit 1,000 subscribers yesterday, so I just want to thank everyone who has subscribed. I want to thank everybody who watches my channel. I really appreciate all of your support. So today we're going to start prepping for Easter, which is tomorrow. So the first thing I'm going to do, oh, this is not what I wanted. I have a box of strawberry cake mix, and I have white, which I thought I had chocolate. So let me grab the chocolate. All right, so I have strawberry and I have chocolate. I'm gonna make a bunch of cupcakes in these little egg silicone cupcake pans. My mother-in-law, when my husband and I first got together, my mother-in-law was still doing all the holidays, and she always made egg-shaped cupcakes for Easter. Now, she had one little aluminum egg mold, and she made white, chocolate, and strawberry cupcakes using that one little mold. I am not going to do that. I have three that of the silicone ones that I bought at, I don't know, probably Hobby Lobby or someplace like that. So I am not obviously going to make my own cake mix. I'm just going to use a store-bought one, which is completely fine. So I usually start with the lighter colored ones, in this case the strawberry. So it's not such a big deal to clean everything up before I start the next box. I'll just kind of wipe it up and go ahead and start the chocolate, and it'll be fine. So we need water, oil, and eggs, so I'll get those. And these are like the very last of our older eggs. So I do want to break these into some other container before I put them in my bowl, so I don't inadvertently ruin my batch with a bad egg, because I've done that before. Our hens are laying, our hens are laying like crazy. And my husband was giving some away to people that he works with and selling a few. He was giving some away to people that he works with, and he was also selling a few to some people that he worked with. But yesterday was his last day at that job. He gave his notice at that job. He's been there for over 30 years. But it's a long drive for him, and he's just ready for a change. So starting next week, he's going to be working with his brother, who owns a lawn service company. And so he'll be basically the operations manager for his brother. So he's very excited about starting that. But that means now we got to figure out what we're going to do with all these eggs. Okay, so there's our eggs. We do give eggs to our kids and to our parents, but you know, they can still only eat so much. I need a half a cup of oil. Alright, so I'm going to put my beater on here. I'm going to run it at low for just a minute just to kind of mix that up, and then I'm just going to let it beat for a couple of minutes at a higher speed. So I am going to just do a little spray of vegetable spray in each of these, just so our eggs come out a little easier. Alright, so I put these silicone holders on a harder cookie sheet so that they don't kind of flop around when I'm putting them in and out and when they're baking. Alright, so I'm going to give this a stir just to make sure there's no dry mix in the bottom of this bowl, which there was a little bit, so. Alright. So I'm just going to use a cookie scoop to fill these. And I'm using my large cookie scoop. That is about the right amount for these size holders. And then when these are all done and cooled, we are going to frost them with melted almond bark. Because the kids, of course, love what Grandma did. I do too. And so now that we don't go to Grandma's anymore on some of these holidays, I try to do some of the things that she did that the kids really enjoyed. So last year I made some of these, and I thought I just had this one cupcake holder, and after I was completely done and cleaning everything up, I found these other two that I had bought, I don't know, at some point. And so I made 2 boxes of cupcakes using just a single cupcake pan. So it took me a while, and you know, naturally I found these when I was done, but I knew I had them this year, so was not going to make that mistake again. So each box of mix makes close to 18 cupcakes. I might only end up with 16 or 17. Let's see here. Whoops. Yeah, I think we're gonna get, looks like 17 out of this strawberry mix. I just have enough for one here, maybe not even, oh yeah, I have enough for this whole one. And since I have one slot open, I am gonna go ahead and mix up the chocolate before I put these in the oven so that I don't waste any of my open spaces here. So I'm going to give all this stuff a quick rinse, and then we'll mix up our box of chocolate. Alright, so I just kind of rinsed that out. I did get most of the strawberry cake mix out of the pan, or the bowl I mean, but I just kind of half rinsed this stuff because it's not going to be enough to make a big difference in the chocolate cake. So we'll get started with that mix. And same thing, we're going to go ahead and break our eggs into this measuring cup first so that we don't end up with bad eggs in our cake mix. So put my shells away. My bag's starting to get pretty full, so maybe when I'm done with everything else I can crush those up and then we'll just feed them back to the chickens. Alright, half a cup of oil and a cup of water. And I've been buying these Pillsbury cake mixes forever. This is my favorite brand when it comes to these cake mixes. Well, at least certain ones. So they used to sell just a chocolate. It was just a plain chocolate, and it was my absolute favorite, and I cannot find it anymore. Now I can find Devil's Food, and I think I can find like the German chocolate, and there might be something else, but not just the plain chocolate that I really loved. So, you know, is what it is. These are still good. Okay. So go ahead and give that a good mix. So let's take care of our chocolate. I'm going to give this one a stir. Just make sure there's no dry mix on the bottom, just like the strawberry. And then I'm just going to fill just this one. Whoop. Because they both bake for the same amount of time. Alright, so then we're going to put these in the oven for about 20 minutes. Regular cupcakes are 20 minutes. These might take a little bit longer because they're bigger. But I'll check them after 20 and see how they look. Okay. So while those are baking, I'm going to go ahead and start one of my sides for tomorrow, where I'm just having a turkey. I'm going to do some potatoes, some carrots, and I'm going to do a pea salad. So I'm going to go ahead and start my peas cooking. Just going to put them in a pot of water and just let them cook until they're, you know, mostly done. Not all of my kids like peas, but I do, so we're going to make these. Alright, so my peas are done. I'm going to drain the water out of these and run some cold water on them, put them in a bowl and stick them in the fridge so that they stop cooking. And our first round of cupcakes has just a couple more minutes. They weren't quite done. Alright, so later after our peas, I have cake mix on my finger. Later after our peas are completely cool, I'm going to chop some onion and add to that. I'm going to add some crumbled bacon bits, and then I'm going to add a mix of mayonnaise and Miracle Whip. And then tomorrow, before we eat, I'm going to add some cheese. But if I add the cheese today in that other stuff with the mayonnaise and stuff in there, the cheese will get kind of soggy, and I want it to be fresh, which I still have to shred some anyway, but we'll add the cheese tomorrow, but we'll finish this pea salad up later today. Let me grab those cupcakes. So I'm going to pull the, ow, that's hot. I'm going to pull the, no, I'll just leave them just like that. But I need to make room for both of them. So I'm going to set those there. And we're going to let them cool in the pan for, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes or so. And then we'll pop these out of here. And I filled these, some of these strawberry ones a little too much, but that's okay. All right, so once these are cool, I'll be back. We can dump those out, get our chocolate ones in the oven. And then once everything is cool, then we can start working on our frosting. So we're gonna go ahead and see if we can get these cupcakes out of the little holder. Oh, good, they're popping out really nice. So I'm just gonna lay them out here. Oh, I broke that one. I'm just gonna lay them out here to finish cooling, and then we'll go ahead and get our chocolate ones going. So we've got quite a lot going on today. My husband is outside, well, he's out in our building. He's building a little enclosure pen safety thing for our 3 little ducklings. They're about big enough to go outside. And we also have the eggs that we had in our incubator started hatching last night, so we've got some babies hatching, so that's exciting. My daughter had moved back in temporarily, the youngest one, and then she and one of her friends just got an apartment, and so in 2 weeks they will be moving into their new apartment, and so she's upstairs going through all of her stuff and packing and all that fun stuff. We went this morning and bought some things like silverware and paper plates and a trash can and, you know, a bunch of that starter stuff that you need when you move into your first place. And then after they move in, we'll go and stock up on some of the grocery items like flour and sugar and salt and some of those staples, and maybe a few other things just to kind of get them started. Alrighty. So I'm going to go ahead and start filling these. Oh, I was going to spray them again, and I totally forgot, but they look like they still have spray in them. But these silicone ones, they're pretty easy to get stuff out of. Whoa, to get stuff out of, so I'm not too worried about it. So yesterday was Friday of my first week at my new job, and I have to say I love it. I'm still doing a lot of, obviously I did all of my onboarding, watch all those videos, all that kind of stuff, fill out paperwork. And then I've been doing just a lot of training the rest of the week. My boss actually doesn't live here in town. She works in another state, so she's generally just fully remote. So she is coming in next week. She'll be in on Tuesday so we can work side by side together. So that would be nice that she can kind of help me get going on things that way. And then hopefully soon I'll be ready to start doing actual work and not just training, even if it's just, you know, obviously I'm gonna have to ask a million questions, but I'm really excited about this job. I'm really excited about all the things that I'm gonna get to learn here. It's funny because when I applied for this job, I thought this company was small. I thought they were just a small local engineering firm. I was wrong. They have about 6,000 employees with offices all across the United States. So I was way wrong, but that makes it super exciting because the engineering firm that I worked for a few years ago, they're a small company, and so I learned a lot there, but this is going to give me the opportunity to learn so much more because this company has different types of engineering projects. They also have larger projects than, you know, the previous company I worked with handled. So I'm going to get to learn a lot. I'm going to get to work closely with a lot of the project managers. So I'm really excited. And my schedule is hybrid, so that's nice. Living so far out, I only have to be in the office 2 days a week. The rest of the time can be remote if I want, or I can go into the office obviously if I want to, but that's, for me, that's the perfect mix because I like being able to go into an office and see people, talk to people, collaborate, that sort of thing. Whoa. But it's about a 40-minute drive. It's actually a pretty easy drive, so that's good. But I also like having the ability to work from home. So I've got my home office all set up. We finally put together my desk that the kids got me for Christmas. And I feel like I said this already, so I don't know, I might have said this in another video. But I finally got the desk put together. I still need to put the drawers together, but it's all set up. So it's an L-shaped workstation. And so so on the big side of my desk is where I have my actual job set up. And then on the smaller, like return side, I have set up for doing my videos and editing and all that sort of thing. So it's kind of nice. I've got two separate areas that I can work on, whichever one, you know, I can do my job during the day, during lunches, or in the evenings, or on the weekends, whatever. I can face the other way and do my YouTube stuff. So, all right, so I've got these full. We're gonna go ahead and put these in the oven. Kind of felt like I started rambling there, so I apologize. But we're gonna put these in, we're gonna bake them. The strawberry ones took right about 22 minutes. So I think I'm gonna set the oven for, I'm gonna set the oven for 22 minutes and then see how these look. And we did get 18 cupcakes out of the chocolate. All right, so all of our cupcakes are done. I've got them sitting on, they are sitting on a little, like a cupcake liner. So I'm gonna frost those in a little bit, but I forgot that I also bought some Easter cookies to make for the kids for tomorrow. So turn the oven back on. And I'm gonna get those started. Let's see, how long do those cook? 10 to 12 minutes, okay. So, I love these little like just place and bake cookies, which I've made my own. You guys saw when I made the chocolate chip, the peanut butter, whatever those other ones were. I don't remember, but having some like this, if they were already in my refrigerator or my freezer, would have been great. But instead, I just bought these. So I'm gonna get these all baked up. I think I might just do one package though. I don't think we need quite that much sugar tomorrow, because we already have obviously the cupcakes, all the Easter baskets have candy in them. I have extra candy that's just in, you know, dishes. So we definitely have plenty of sugar going on in the house. All right, I'm gonna just separate these a little bit. Let's see. All right, so I'm gonna put this other package just back in the fridge, and I might make them next weekend or something like that. All right, so I put those in the oven. We're gonna let those cook for about 10 minutes or so. And then we'll get those out and cooling. So while those cookies are baking, I'm gonna go ahead and start frosting our cupcakes. I'm going to start with the white. I'm going to put white almond bark on the strawberry cupcake. And I never know how much I need, so we may end up with a whole bunch extra. We may, who knows. All right, so I'm just going to put this in the microwave and just melt it 30 seconds at a time, and then just give it a stir. So I'm just going to melt this in the microwave 30 seconds at a time, then I'll give it a stir so I don't burn it until it's completely melted, and then we're going to put it on our cupcakes. All right, ow, that bowl is very hot. Okay, so our white almond bark is melted. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to take one of my cupcakes and just going to let some of that drop on there because it's pretty hot. And we're just gonna spread it over a little bit. It doesn't have to be fancy. And then that will harden obviously on these cupcakes. And then we'll just do the next one. I think I'm going to try a spoon and see how that works. If it doesn't work, we'll go back to the knife. That actually, I think, is working a little better. Oops. I'm dripping frosting everywhere. These are always so good. The way just that little thin layer of frosting hardens over the top of the cupcake is just, I don't know what it is, but it's just so good. So I'm gonna have to melt some more doing it this way, but that's okay. I have plenty of almond bark. because otherwise I only use it at Christmas time. And the cookies, the timer's about to go off on the cookies, so give those a check. We're gonna go ahead and let those go the other 2 minutes. Well, now I know why my mother-in-law always uses a knife, because it's easier to control than the spoon, but that's okay. All right, so I'm gonna break some more off of this piece here. And we'll get another section melting. Let's see, I've got 6 cupcakes left. All right, I'm just gonna try melting that first and see if that's enough. So we just had another egg hatch upstairs about, I don't know, 20 minutes ago or so. They are so adorable. They're so funny when they hatch out. This is the first time that we've ever hatched our own eggs. And so they're quite funny to watch when they're trying to get out of their shell. And when they first get out and they're just all flopping around because they're, you know, not really strong enough to hold themselves up yet, and they're all wet, and they're so hilarious. Our cookies are just about done. All right, so let's finish up these strawberry cupcakes here. I can hear my neighbor next door. He is out there tilling up his garden plot. I'm hoping to get out in the garden when I'm done with this stuff today and get some of my seeds planted, because it's not windy today. So that was what was holding me up last weekend, was all this darn wind. I was afraid to try to plant any seeds because I was afraid they would just blow away. And they definitely would have, because it was crazy winds last week. All right, one more strawberry. Now these do not look as pretty as my mother-in-law's always do, but the kids don't care. They will eat them anyway. Ow. Trust me, these will definitely not go to waste. All right, I've got one that's a little bit short on frosting, so let's add some to it. So that was just about the perfect amount. And then now I can start the chocolate. We're gonna start melting our chocolate now. And I'm gonna try and melt enough to do all of the cupcakes at one time, so I don't have to melt a second batch. All right, so let's get this in the microwave. We're definitely going to take that spoon out though. All right, our chocolate is just about melted. So we ended up with 17 strawberry cupcakes and 18 chocolate. So that should be plenty, because we're going to have, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, plus 4 kids, 11. So we're going to have 11 total, and that includes the kids and the babies. All right, so we are going to start frosting these chocolate cakes, our little chocolate eggs. See me being like Grandma, Hannah? Except taller. My mother-in-law is like barely 5 feet tall, so, and I'm 5'9", so. So for some reason the chocolate is working better. I'm not sure if the chocolate's thicker. I don't really know. But whatever, it's working. And they look so cute. They don't look like Grandma's, but they do look super cute. All right, hopefully this is enough frosting. It's gonna be close, I think. I don't want to melt just a little bit. Got 6 left here. Oh yeah, I think we're gonna be fine. Actually, I think I might even have a little bit of frosting left. I am. So I might be able to just, if I've got some that are kind of thin, I'll just pour a little extra on there. Extra frosting never hurt anybody. All right, let's see. These actually all look pretty thick. Alrighty, get this last little bit of frosting. I see a little hole in this frosting. All right, there we go. So I'm gonna get this over here to start cooling. Ouchie. I don't want to run water in that bowl yet because it's still hot, and I don't want to break my my colored Pyrex dish. All right, so this stuff will dry on your counter, and sometimes it's easier to just scrape off. If you've ever worked with almond bark, you know that it will just harden up, which of course is what it's made for, and that's what you want it to do. But sometimes that makes it a little hard to get off of here. Let's see. I feel like I'm hitting some. Alrighty, so here are our chocolate cupcakes, and then we've got our strawberry cupcakes here, and our cookies. So I am gonna just move everything to the center of this island so the animals can't reach it. And we'll let these all cool so that the almond bark hardens up. Once it's completely dry, then I'll go ahead and cover this with some plastic wrap. And when the cookies are completely cool, I'll put them into a container for tomorrow. And then the dessert part of our Easter dinner will be done.